Hey there, I'm Sara Zarella, a portrait and wedding photographer and your host for Wedding Secrets Unveiled. This is a podcast where we cut through the complexity of wedding planning, leaving you with everything you need to know directly from the industry experts. If you want to simplify your wedding planning while having fun, of course, you came to the right place. Join me while I guide you through your planning, starting from your engagement to your big day when you say, I do. After photographing for over 20 years, I am sharing with you tips and tricks to cut through the excess noise. Because I believe from the moment you said yes, your planning experience should be a magical time in your life. Here you'll find episodes that are fun, stress-free, and straight to the point with a fresh, honest take on the reality of what you really need to know about planning your perfect day. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Wedding Secrets Unveiled podcast, friends. I'm your host, Sara Zarella, and just a quick reminder, we are on YouTube, so if you like to watch us instead of listen, please check out our YouTube page, which is at Sara Zarella Photography, and Zarella is 2 R's and 2 L's. So today's show is I have Maria, who's the owner of Only the Finest Italian Cookies, and we are going to talk a little bit about a fun dessert to have at your event. It also could be an alternative to wedding cakes, or it could be an addition. And so if you have a sweet tooth and you love Italian cookies and you're looking for a really unique, yummy experience for your guest, this is the podcast episode for you. Well, welcome back to Wedding Secrets Unveiled podcast, friends. I'm your host, Sara Zarella, and I am joined with a very special guest. I have been trying to track you down.
So sorry.
Well, you're just very busy.
Blessed and busy, which is how I put it.
So today we have 2 Italians sitting here talking with their hands in the air.
Right.
And,
Sisters from another mister.
And for those YouTube listeners, so just for you all know, we are on YouTube. So check out our YouTube channel at Sara Zarella Photography, and Zarella is 2 R's, 2 L's. But right in front of us is a box if you are watching YouTube. So tell me what's in that box.
So it's just a sample of some of the things that we've been baking this week. You have some Linzers, you have cherry slices, a couple of biscotti. I think there's an almond in there. There's the rainbow, which is super popular. So I always like to send complimentary samples to my prospective clients and to good friends.
Thank you. So for our listeners, though, tell us who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Okay. So my mom started Only the Finest Italian Cookies about 35 years ago. And for a long time, she had a store on Park Avenue in Cranston. And everyone knew her as the Cookie Lady. That was not the name of her business, but that's the title that she got. And she had such a great reputation for putting together beautiful cookie trays, traditional Italian cookie trays, cookie displays. She was on the menu at the Graduate and Kirkbride and Ocean Cliff. And then in 2016, when she was diagnosed with brain cancer, she was gone in 4 months. Mm-hmm. She had, of course, many weddings in the books. And so it was either a matter of, well, we need to figure out how this works and keep it going, or we need to find money to give these couples their money back. And I said to my husband, I have to do it. Mm-hmm. And he said, no, you are out of your mind. You can't. At the time, I'm teaching, which I still am. Teaching full time. I had a church job on the weekends, and it was just crazy to think that we were going to take this business over. But I have that Italian daughter guilt, and I said, I have to do it. You don't understand. And he was like, okay. So 9 years later, we are so stinking busy. It has just been 9 years since our anniversary. And I was really lucky to have friends who are like family jump on and say, we'll help you and we'll sort through these recipes and make it work, because no one did the baking except my mother. She had the recipes. She was very type A. Nobody touched the dough or the mixer except her. And even though she had people come in and help serving espresso and, dipping cookies and helping to arrange the trays, she did all the baking. So it was really trial and error for us. And we were lucky to have some of her customers right away say, we'll give you a shot, and I had people who ordered trays and I would say, please give me honest feedback. Because I love baking, like all Italians do. But my expertise was limited to making chocolate chip cookies for my children. So it was a learning curve for me too. And those first couple of trays, like I look back at them now, were rough. And luckily her customers were very honest.
Mhm.
And they said, well, they're okay, but they don't have a lot of flavor. So we'd go back and we rework the recipes and bake it again. And they would come back and order more trays. And okay, tell us what you think. And they were like, you got it. You got it.
You have it.
So, and I've just been so lucky to have fostered great relationships with people. So Only the Finest does several things. We do traditional cookie trays still for not just weddings, but holidays and special occasions, everything from 1 pound up to 5 pounds. If you need 10 pounds to put on your coffee station, we got you. We do beautiful cookie displays where we'll set up a giant 7-tiered tower just loaded with cookies. We send an attendant to take care of it throughout the wedding to make sure that it looks nice and replenish it. And then anything that is left towards the end of the night as guests start to go home, we will bag up for people to take home. So I hate waste. I don't want anything that you paid for getting thrown away. So we make sure that everything goes home in cellophane bags with you and your guests. And of course, we always set aside a box for our bride and groom because they're very busy during the reception. They never get to eat dessert. This year, we've expanded into pastry as well. So if you want sfogliatelle, lobster tails, eclairs, cream puffs, tiramisu, zuppa inglese, semifreddo, we are happy to add that on as well. Then there's the espresso bar, which is super popular, very, very classy way to end the evening. We'll send a full menu of cappuccino and espresso drinks, regular decaf if you want non-dairy milk, and people love an espresso after dinner. And then there's cannoli. And that's kind of taken on a life of its own. Very, very popular this year. So we've been lucky to be super busy. And because we have different services, we have the capability of doing multiple weddings in a weekend. I think our record so far is 6 in one day.
Wowzers.
And it's a lot. It's a lot, but we have great help, so we can do it.
But you're doing it.
And we're doing it.
I for our listeners, in honor of your mom, you talked about no food is wasted and bagging it up. So still to this day, I didn't realize it was 9 years. That's how fast time
That's
goes.
so fast.
So I worked obviously very closely with your mom, and now I work with you. But I remember your mom, and one of the things, I remember a lot of things your mom, but one of the things I remember is she was a hustler. And she was always working, and she was right there at those weddings, and she didn't have time to eat. And we always get these vendor meals, and she would say, "Can you bag? Can you
take it home.
take it home?" And she would take it home. And so you talk about how as soon as you were saying that, you're like, "Oh, I always bag the extras." I'm like, I remember your mom bagging her meal.
That's so I love that. I love to hear things that I've never heard about her. Like, but I could just picture her saying that because she would look forward. She'd go home and she'd eat it.
She'd eat it, and she would never leave her station. Like, she would make, because by the time the food got out for the vendors, she's in her prime, because like that's now dessert time. So she really couldn't eat her dinner. And that's how much of a hard worker she was, because she was there very early setting up her display, but she was like, nope, I got to just bag it up. I don't want it to go to waste. And there she would. She would always have her to-go meal.
Oh, yeah. She was a hustler for sure.
She was.
She had an incredible work ethic.
And so do you. And so I remember when this all happened, I can't believe it's 9 years. I just can't believe it. But I remember we were talked, and you said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to carry on her legacy. And here you are.
I was really lucky that, venues gave me a shot. The Graduate used to be the Biltmore. They said, yeah, come and do our tasting. Kirkbride said the same. Ocean Cliff wasn't long before we were there too. So I was really lucky that they had that trust in my mom's products and what she had kind of established. And I think venues like that, we've had this experience, and they can recommend us to their clients and know that we're going to show up on time. We're going to put out a good product, and people are going to be happy. There's going to be plenty for everybody, and it's going to be
yummy. Yeah.
Here's hoping.
Well, you know what, though? Here's the thing, though. So we're going to talk a little bit about this on our podcast, because we're going to talk a little bit about wedding cake versus alternative desserts, and now you're getting into pastries and cannolis. But really, you were in this area one of the first.
Yes.
And now there's a lot right now. I feel like there's a boom in your industry right now, in your because I think everybody now wants to elevate the guest experience, right?
Yes.
And the interaction of the art of culinary and eating and indulging and having a good time. But I mean, I think where we're going with this whole thing is the wow effect of displays and interactive food is a trend.
Mhm.
I mean, but you've been from the start from there. So I think, you're the original OG.
That makes me sound really old and cool.
Hey, and cool, but cool,
Oh
really
my
cool.
goodness. I hope so. Well, it used to be that it would just be the Italians
Yes.
that would be
yes.
looking for cookies at their wedding, because it's such a great tradition to have Italian cookies at your wedding. And it dates back to, the Depression era, where girls could not afford a cake for their weddings, but they still wanted to offer their guests some nice dessert. And so the cookie table was born, or cookie trays that you brought to each table. And your nonna, your mom, your aunts would all get together and bake, make these beautiful trays, and it would just be a gift that would be placed on the table. So for a long time, it was maybe just the Italians around here anyway. But, you start looking around and digging, and you see the tradition of these beautiful cookie tables in, the Polish ancestry. And down in Pittsburgh, there is a giant movement for
Oh,
cookie
really?
tables, and it's every single nationality. And a lot of venues down there will allow outside bakers to come in, or home bakers, where around here, and I found since COVID, it's not
Yeah.
as prevalent. So we're licensed and insured, and we can bring all the desserts in. So what we've seen is kind of now a shift towards just Italians looking for Italian cookies, to people looking for something different and special, something that's going to get your guests up from their tables, walking around, trying new things. And so we've seen, lots of different couples have reached out to us because they're looking for something that maybe isn't just a cake. And sadly, and I say this, sincerely, by the time that cake is sliced and put out on your guest tables, they're not there. They're not there at the table. And I see this cake sitting around place settings, and not just cake. Sometimes, the venue does a plated dessert, and they'll set it out, and then it sits there, and I just want to go and I want to grab them all and stick them in my bag, because I hate when stuff goes to waste, and I want to just take it home because I know what people are paying for it. And
Listen, Maria, if your mom was around, she would sit there and ask for to-go things and just be stuffing it.
right in the purse, right? Give me that dinner roll too. You get extra sugar packets. That's my age showing. That's the Nonna in me.
But you're right. And it's so, like, even when my husband and we got married, we actually had your mom's cookies at our wedding, and we did we opted for the trays because my meal was family style.
Oh,
so,
nice.
So Steve and I did family style wedding, and so because that's the Italian, and me, not him. I married my last name actually legally is Shealy, and we don't know what that nationality is. So there's
mystery.
that. But that's why I still introduce myself as Sara Zorella. So Sarah
All those
Shealy.
nice vowels.
Yeah. But anyway, it was really important to me to have that Italian cookie, but family style. But so we did the trays. So I mean, again, though, it's still that interactive. Even though it was at the tables, it was still that interactive. And there's all different ways you can do this. For you, there's just you can do displays, and like you said. But at the end of the day, is a lot of time you're seeing those desserts just sit there. If it's a 3-course plated meal, they are just sitting there, because by the time you get to that third course, it's dancing time.
It is.
So one of the reasons why the trays were really good is because whatever was not being used,
people would just wrap it up and
out
go.
the door it goes. And out the go and went.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It almost becomes like, hey, look at my big giant favor that I'm taking home from the wedding.
And also, too, there's some people who do want the dessert. So
sure. So they unwrap it.
So they can indulge as much as they want because it's for the table. Or like if it's a station, it's for that. You can go and get as much as you want.
Oh, yes.
You don't have to have your one piece.
The great thing about the display, or any dessert display, is the variety.
Yes.
So I think that's what a lot of couples are trending towards right now. They're looking for it. They want their guests to be able to pick whatever they want. And I know, speaking for us, when you come to our cookie table, whether it's just cookies or cookies and pastry, you're going to find chocolate, nuts, fruit, liquor, vegan cookies, gluten-free, or gluten, I should say gluten-friendly cookies, because Italian cookies, just by happy accident, check all the boxes.
Mhm.
It's so you can, if you can't find something you like on our cookie tables, I give up. I've had people come up and they're like, where are the chocolate chips? And I sometimes have them. If I know there are going to be
Yes.
kids at the
Yes.
wedding, I will
Yeah.
bring chocolate chips. It's always the men who
Yeah.
want them. But there's always something for everybody.
Yeah.
Always, always. And I'll steer them. Well, what do you like? Do you like chocolate? Because sometimes they'll come up and look at it and not know what they're looking at. And so that's why it's nice to have an attendant there to kind of steer them. Well, if you like liquor, you want to try a rum ball. If you like
Ooh,
fruit,
yeah.
you want a fig, you want a prune. And to get them to try something different. So the variety is what's really nice. And for us, we make our cookies on the smaller side. So you can easily have 5, 6, 12
Oh, yeah.
at a time.
Oh, yeah. A lot of times as a photographer, I have to wait till you set up your whole thing and I have to take the picture of it. But guess what I get to do? I'm the first one that gets to take the cookies because I'm there first. And like there's like this weird like guilt because I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. And I don't want to be the first one to do it. But then there's also like, sorry.
Yeah,
not
somebody has to be
sorry.
first. Somebody has to be first. And when I see the photographers coming up and taking pictures of my table, there's a box for you.
Oh, yeah.
Automatic.
Thank you.
Automatic. And then when you're welcome. And I love when people share the galleries because, of course, your photos and me and my iPhone are two completely different things. And I love getting professional photographs. It's like a gift.
So I'm going to just dive right in though.
Do it.
Here we go. We talked a little bit about what you do, right? And we talked a little bit about what's on trend. And we're going to talk about pricing after the break. But before we get into the break, talk to me a little bit about what is going on in the industry right now in regards to this. I don't know. I mean, like all of a sudden everybody wants cannolis and
Oh, my Lord and God.
what's happening here?
I think a lot
Are
of
the
it
Italians
is
invading? Like, what's happening here?
well, the way I sell it is everyone knows what a cannoli is.
Yeah, true.
Italian or not. It is such an easy crowd pleaser.
Well, can I say something? It's a confession.
You don't like cannoli?
I don't
Wow.
at all.
Wow.
Nope.
It's not my go-to either,
Mm-mm.
I have to
Cookies,
say.
Italian cookies?
Yes.
Pretty much every flavor. No, never has been.
Wow.
Am I minority?
Well, the thing with cannoli is it's enjoying such a surge in popularity right now because of the ease of
Why?
it.
That's what I'm wondering. What's going on? What happened here? Like it's a huge thing right now.
Social media
Okay.
has brought the cannoli to the forefront. And this is how we started doing roaming cannoli. I had several brides and friends of mine send me video and TikToks. Look at this, roaming cannoli. People doing it out in Midwest, New Jersey, real big deal out there. So I thought, they said, you should be doing this. And I thought,
Yeah, I should be doing this.
I can do this.
Yeah.
Now, we had been doing a cannoli station
You
since
have.
2020.
Yeah, I know that. But like, again, you're the OG. That's a cool OG, not the old. But it's just huge.
It is. It's just fun. You're on the dance floor and someone comes up to you
that's
and
true.
says, would you like a freshly made cannoli? And the Italian music, oh my, everybody's dancing and you have a cannoli. You want to talk about an Instagrammable moment, fun, interactive, different guest experience is the number one priority of a lot of our couples. And they want something new and different and fun. And who does not like a fresh cannoli? Well,
Listen, I appreciate it. Like, to be honest with you, I will take that. Like, like if you like you said, like the walking cannolis and you're on the dance floor and there's experience, like you cannot deny that. So even me, who's not a big cannoli person, I will indulge because it's like that. It's fun.
It is.
It's fun.
And we want something fun at the wedding. We want an interactive dessert. We want to invoke some nostalgia from our guests. Oh wow, I go to the North End and get cannoli, or I go up to Federal Hill and I love cannoli. Or this reminds me of my mother, my grandmother, which to me is like the highest praise.
Yeah.
If someone says something that we make reminds them of something that they've had in the past, like to evoke those nostalgic feelings is to me as good as it gets.
You're right, because you know what? Every single time I'm at a wedding and you have that walking cannoli, I always take it because I'm like, oh yeah, of course, and I'm excited, and then I eat. I'm like, oh no, I still don't like it. but I was like,
I can take it.
But I still love it. Like I love even what I'm trying to say is even the person who doesn't love a cannoli, I will still
Loves the experience.
I love the experience, and that's my whole point. And
For
so
sure.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break, and when we get back, let's talk a little bit about the experience.
Okay.
What what are some things that you can do, and then I really want to get into budget, pricing. Let's be practical here. Let's give our listeners like
Let's break it down.
Let's break it down. And then
Okay.
I want to talk a little bit about, and I'm sure this goes hand in hand, is pricing with how much you should order. Because there has to probably be, an art to it, is how much you should order. Because you just got
For
done
sure.
saying that there's gonna be some people like it's just gonna be grabbing it and grabbing it, and there's gonna be some that's gonna be like, oh, I'll have one.
Yeah.
Like I don't know those
Yeah.
people, but
Or I'll take it home.
yeah. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
I appreciate you being here. And hey, if you like what you're hearing, I encourage you to check out our website at sarahzarella.com. And don't forget, you can actually subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. And I would so appreciate if you left a fabulous review on Apple Podcast. Even better, share it with a friend. It's a great way to show your support. And now, let's get back to the episode. Well, welcome back to Wedding Secrets Unveiled podcast, friends. I'm your host, Sara Zarella. And during the break, we were talking a little bit about, pricing. But as I'm like staring at the cookies sitting here, it's such a teaser. Like we should have been eating cookies.
Oh my God. Right. Can you get cookies on the microphone though?
I don't know. I can't.
Powdered sugar is
Can't.
it's like glitter. It's everywhere. Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about pricing.
Okay.
What are we looking at here? Because I think for starters, I think it's people overall are in the world of sticker shock right now. We have a tough economy right now, and I think in general the wedding cake in itself. I gotta be honest with you. Even me, like I'm in the wedding industry. I'm still shocked at prices with wedding cakes and floral. Like there's certain things that I'm like, but I understand why.
For sure.
I understand
you
why.
You never deny someone their art.
Never. Like I literally, it's just, I'm shocked, and I'm in the industry, and I know how much product involves and labor involves and everything. But in general, there's a big sticker price on desserts. Because you're dealing with food costs, and you're dealing with labor costs, and you're dealing with setup and breakdown and time.
Exactly. And eggs and butter alone, speaking for the
That's what I'm
bakers,
talking
that
about.
has killed us. It's been tough. And everyone I know has had to raise their prices, not even just because of the hours. And I learned very early on as we started to get into this business, we're never going to be compensated for our time.
No.
And think about the time you take to edit photos. No one thinks about that. They think, oh, point, shoot, done. And 90% of the work is afterward. For us, 90% is before the wedding. So as far as how much to budget, I am very honest with couples because I don't want to see them, allocate money that they maybe want somewhere else. You have to think about what are the priorities for your wedding? What's important to you? Do you want the videographer and the content creator and, $50,000 worth of flowers all over the place? And, and if you do, that's great. The next thing I tell them is think about the demographics of your guest list. If it is mostly friends of you and your fiance, you don't have to go big on dessert because young people want to drink and they want to dance after they've had dinner. Understandable. I said it's the grandmas like me, not a grandma, that want a cup of coffee and something sweet. So if you have your parents and their friends and you have lots of aunt and uncles and you have like a good range of ages, sure. Then go a little bit higher on dessert because they're going to be looking for it.
Yes.
And
that's what's going to keep them there, actually.
For sure. And I've had couples kind of, be cautious and not get a lot. Like I've had weddings of 180 people and they said, well, I only need cookies for 100 because, we're having additional dessert. The additional dessert was 2 tiers of cupcakes and a little teeny tiny wedding cake. And so my table was gone. It was just demolished because cookies for 100 and cookies for 180 look completely different. So I made not one bag. that night, not one. And I usually am good for maybe, 20 bags at least of cookies. I had nothing to bag up. It was the fastest I've ever been in and out of a wedding before in my life. I struggle with pricing because I hate to say no to people.
Nah.
And which is why we end up at 6 weddings in a day. But I don't ever sacrifice quality, but I don't want to price myself out of the people who want that homespun Italian
Well,
touch.
the reason why you're still doing like this is your core reason.
Yes, yes, it is.
It's to
And
produce cookies for those people who it's a nostalgic thing. I mean, it's
for
part of their
sure.
meal.
And
you
our
know?
customers, and here in Rhode Island, where we are close to Newport, which is a crazy wedding destination, our weddings can range from, $600,000 plus. And then I've also done weddings in other parts of the states where it's a lot more, modest and conservative. And I once had a bride's mother who really, really wanted cookies. And she paid me a small amount every month so that she could have that display for her daughter. And the wedding was very, very modest. I gave her a beautiful table. I don't want to price myself away from
I
those
understand.
people who want to honor their heritage and offer this to their guests. That being said, when you're looking for a personalized custom dessert experience, whether it's cake or cupcakes or cookies or whatever, because people are putting such custom, I find, is very big right now. And every couple wants their wedding dessert to look different than every other wedding that they've gone to. And for those couples, they're not so concerned with the price of it. So look at your priorities. What's important to you? What do you want to offer your guests? If you're a foodie, and the dinner is a big deal, people are going to remember the dinner. They're going to remember the dessert. And you can find a dessert that suits the demographics of your guest list, that honors your heritage and still is within your budget. Go for it.
Yeah. And if it's not in your budget, maybe you take the experience element out of it, and then you just get the cookies on to-go trays.
Exactly. And a lot
When
of
I say to-go trays, meaning you don't have to be at the event.
Correct.
They can come and pick it up, and then it can be served.
Very much so. And I do that for a lot of couples where they say, I really want cookies, and my mom or my dad or my grandma wants me to have cookies, but it's not a big deal to me. And I say, well, you know what? Let me make you like 5 or 10 pounds, put them on your coffee station. You're done.
Yes.
So people who want cookies grab their coffee, they grab a few cookies, and you've made those people happy without, killing your budget or going overboard.
Yeah.
So it's important to have different price points and
Different
different
price
options
points.
for people.
I do feel like the wedding cake. It's a classic. It's a tradition. It's never going to go anywhere.
It's a beautiful
It's a
photo
beautiful thing.
opportunity.
And then same thing with like the cookies. Like I just feel like it is a classic interactive alternative to the wedding cake. It's funny how we talked about trends, and right now the cannoli trend is here, and it's time will tell if it's here to stay or go. I mean, cannolis obviously is a classic. I'm talking about the actual roaming cannoli. But I say that it's because which is great, is trends. And at one point we had the candy table trends.
Yes.
Remember that?
I do. And then it was donuts. And where are they now?
I
Where are the donut walls?
Actually,
all the bakers who had those pegs in the donut. Where
you
are they?
remember that? And like, here's the funny thing though. Fun fact. I literally photographed a wedding last summer that had a donut wall, and that wedding stands out in my head because I was like, a donut wall!
Where's it been?
So now it's cannolis, and I want to know what the next trend is going to be. Any inclination that you're feeling? Like, what's it going to?
I mean,
if you had a crystal ball.
I want to stay in my wheelhouse of doing Italian American things.
Yes.
I know. We have a few things brewing.
Oh,
we're not going to give it up just yet.
All right.
But I think the interactive thing is important. I think people like the mobileness of things like cannoli. And now what are we seeing? We're seeing, people shucking oysters on the dance floor.
Yes. No, I'm serious.
It's all about, what's new and different and trending. And I think the cannoli
limoncello, I've seen that happening now.
Sure.
Yeah,
oh, sure.
yeah.
Someone told me, hey, you know what? Didn't you do mobile tiramisu? God, that sounds really, really messy. Well, you never know. It's
I know.
Have fun.
It's fun.
That's fun. You can't take it too seriously.
No.
It's dessert. It's supposed to be fun and sweet. And you know what? Extra calories. I tell people calories don't count. It's a wedding. Go dance. Work it off. Have fun with it.
I love it. All right. Well, here's another thing. So what about people who have allergies? If they want to have fun and have a dessert and have some calories and have some yummy food.
The hardest allergy is the nuts.
Oh.
And it's a killer. Now, I know after being a teacher for 20-something years, nut allergies are serious. They're life-threatening. We've all gotten the EpiPen training. That being said, who has the allergy? Is it one or two of your guests? Is it even up to 10 guests? In my experience, people with nut allergies do not eat dessert because they don't take the chance. The first thing you see when you walk into most bakeries are the signs. Our products are exposed to nuts, gluten, dairy, and there's no getting around it. So for people with nut allergies, or people with allergies in general, a lot of times they won't eat the dessert unless they know that it's come from a dedicated, a celiac kitchen, a nut-free kitchen, or whatever kitchen. And because we're baking in a shared facility, I can't ever guarantee that my products, I have gluten-friendly products. I have cookies that don't have nuts.
But
they're not nut safe. Yes, so there is cross-contamination.
And you never know if they've in transit touched and whatever. And also too, if it's on a display, you don't know if other people are touching and cross-contaminating. It is what it is.
It happens. And if you have a severe allergy, you are not eating dessert. So I think it's very sweet that couples want everyone at their wedding to enjoy things, but it can be tricky with dessert unless your product is coming from a place where they do not have it on their menu at all. And there are places like that exist. If that's important to you, then you have to do it. And so I put that out there right away. And of course, it's in our contract. Our cookies are exposed to blah, blah, blah. If the bride or the groom has a severe allergy, I had a mom once tell me, I was at a tasting, and she said, well, what can I get that doesn't have nuts? And well, all right, Wandi, the pizzella don't have nuts, but they're made in a separate area, but they're still cross-contaminated. She's like, well, my daughter, if someone kisses her and they've had nuts, she's going to have a reaction. I'm like, please step away from my table. Okay. Just no. That's when you find something else that we can't help. And what's been a real challenge for us this year? There are whole venues going nut-free. Now you take the nuts out of Italian cookies, and it's like
that's like taking the peanut butter out of peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You just have a jelly sandwich. Actually, so for our listeners, if you really want to dive down the allergy episodes, Catherine and I taped an allergy episode that aired the late summer of 2025 to falls. So it's right around there. You can go back into our archives. There's a whole thing about allergies because Catherine has severe allergies, and we even learned about cross-contamination of buffets and touching tongues. And listen, it's a whole thing. So just for our listeners, just so you know, that's back there in our archives. If you want,
it's important. It's important to educate yourself for sure. Yeah. And we do the best we can. And because we don't like to say no to people, we really, really try to accommodate. But when it comes to life-threatening allergies, you just don't want to take that chance. No. And you have to look, who is it that has that allergy? Will they be eating dessert? I've had bride and grooms try to accommodate people. Well, can you bring vegan cookies? Absolutely. Can you bring cookies that have, for gluten allergy? Absolutely. Easy. The nuts for us
is tough.
Is the hardest thing.
It's tough.
Because you're talking pinoli cookies, you're talking the rainbow. Half of the cookies that I make are made with almond paste, almond flour. All my gluten-free cookies are almond flour based.
That's why I love them so much, because I just love almonds.
Right. The nuts. It's really the heart of Italian cookies are those nuts. And I can bring you cookies with no nuts. They're not nut safe. They may be nut free. It's still good. It's just it's just not the full experience.
It is what it is.
Sad,
sometimes
sad. Yes, it makes me sad, but there's no getting around it.
I'm gonna put you on the spot before I wrap up. Question. Wedding hot take.
I love a wedding where there's a lot of personalization.
Ooh,
You
good
know,
hot take.
will that qualify? I'm sorry. I'm
Yes.
old. I don't speak.
Listen, you don't speak hot
I
take?
don't speak hot take.
That qualifies. And honestly, not only does it qualify, it checks a box for what you do.
I hope so. I hope
I
so.
love it.
I've had couples where they, the mom made the seating arrangement. The
Oh,
bride makes her own favors. She painted this, that, or the other. They brought in, Aunt Irma. She made a big bushel of Wandy. Do you mind putting that on your table? Oh, my
I
mom
love that.
really loves cookies and she makes cookies. Do you mind adding them to it? Absolutely not. No, do it. Do it. It's all about you and personalizing the
I
wedding
love that.
to you and your spouse, and showing your family heritage. And really, I mean, I've been to weddings, where people have spent just thousands and thousands of dollars. Those aren't my favorite. It's the ones where you can tell these people genuinely love each other. They've brought in beautiful vendors that complement their vision. They've added their own personal touches to it. And when you see people dancing and smiling and hugging each other, and the bride and groom are together,
Love
right?
it.
How many weddings do you see where the groom's over here and the bride's over here, and they may have the world's best band and the most expensive flowers and crazy amounts of desserts, and
I
it
know.
doesn't mean as much. It's when you have that personal connection to each other, to your people around you, you're surrounded with the people you love. Those to me are the best weddings, and I always feel like I am a guest at that wedding. My husband will be like, "You're not a guest; you get paid to be there." But no, I feel like they've made me feel like a
Yes.
guest, and maybe our interaction was just a few emails, but I sense your personality, and oh, this is so exciting, and we're so happy to have you there. And my grandmother is, if she were alive, this is what she would have done for
Oh,
me, and those personal things I really, really
I
like.
love that.
I do too.
Before we wrap up, I have a fun fact actually. As you were talking, I realized, and this was not planned. So I have this vest on for people who are on YouTube, and you know where I got this?
Where?
Italy.
Stop
This is
it.
my straight from Italy, actually Florence,
Oh
in
my
the leather
God, the
factory.
leather, yeah.
Yeah. So because I just
Love
went
that.
there this past year earlier, well, back in September of 2025, I just went there for a wedding overseas, and the day before the wedding, we were, in the Florence market, and I got my leather vest. And so literally, as I'm talking to you, I'm like, this is coincidental. I am wearing my Italian leather vest talking to you.
That is so neat. And I just had a couple email me yesterday and say, we are so excited about this because we went to Italy 2 years ago, and we feel like this is honoring part of our relationship was to bring that beautiful
Back.
trip into our wedding and
Yeah.
incorporate it into our special day.
Yeah. I love it. I love Italy. So there's that.
Who doesn't love Italian food? I mean, we could arguably say we have some of the best food.
I'm not going to deny that. Not going to
Come at
deny
me
it.
if you will, but Italians and Italian Americans, we are super lucky. I mean,
Oh.
everything for us is centered around food. Every single celebration.
I'm very proud of my Italian culture. Why do you think that I have kept my name, even though legally I haven't? So there's that.
Right?
All right. So our wrap up question: what are some key points that couples should be asking dessert companies to make sure that they are working with a reputable professional company to elevate their wedding or event?
Okay, so you want to look at their social media, look at their website, look at their work. Try it if you can.
Ooh, good point. Try
which
it.
is really, really nice to kind of get a preview
Yeah.
of what you will be getting. If you can even get, and I always send samples
Yeah.
for free because I feel like it's
Well, that's what you're serving.
for sure. And you want people to see it. This is the size, these are the flavors, these are the colors, this is what
No
it will be
surprises. This is
representing.
what you're getting.
Exactly. So look at their work. Go online, find it, find reviews. Go on all of the wedding sites and go on Google and look at their reviews. Talk to your wedding planner, talk to your venue, see who they like working with, who have they had success working with, who is reputable, who shows up on time, not just that they have a pretty product, but who is going to deliver,
Yeah.
and not let you down. Talk to them. Does their personality work with yours? Do you have a good rapport? Can you go back and forth? Will they answer you when you email them, when you call them? Will they respond in a way, will they work within your budget? Will they offer alternatives if somehow they're out or, out of reach of your budget? Is there something you can come to an agreement with?
That's perfect.
What's important? What's
Yeah.
important to you? Is there something in your life? Is there something in your family that you would like to honor through the dessert? Is it important to you to have that special dessert and to offer your guests a special experience? Then and you're in the right hands.
In your right hands. I love it. So I want to thank you so much for joining me for this week's episode of Wedding Secrets Unveiled. Thank you.
Mille grazie.
Yay. And you just helped all of our listeners become one step closer to their stress-free wedding planning process. I want to remind all of our listeners, if you are listening and you'd like to see us, we are now on YouTube, which is on our YouTube channel at Sara Zarella Photography. And Zarella is 2 R's, 2 L's. And with that said, can you tell all of our listeners where they could find you?
Okay, so we are onlythefinestitaliancookies.com, and you can check out our website. Of course, we are also on Instagram, Facebook, Only the Finest Italian Cookies. I try to get on TikTok, but man, who has the time?
Not me. Not me.
I needed a social media manager. Anybody?
So there you go. Anybody out there? With that said, for our listeners, I'll have Maria's information on our episode show notes, which you can find on our website, which is at our sarazarella.com/podcast page. Please, for our listeners too, please rate and review our show. That is the best compliment you can give all of us. And so with that said, I guess I have to say ciao.
Ciao. Ciao, Bella.
Ciao, Bella. Thank you for listening to Wedding Secrets Unveiled. I appreciate you being here. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode, I want to tell you something. I encourage you to check out our website at sarazarella.com. We love photographing while having fun, of course. Check out our podcast page on our website for our show notes along with upcoming episodes with your local wedding experts. Listen in as we help you plan your epic event. And don't forget that you can actually subscribe to this podcast wherever you are listening so you never miss an episode. I would so appreciate if you left a review for us on Apple Podcasts. Even better, share it with a friend. It's a great way to show your support and let us know what you think. If you know any wedding experts that would like to be a guest, we have a link directly on our website where they can let us know. Thank you for listening.